Men accused of being part of what prosecutors call a white supremacist gang. Investigators say the gang is responsible for violent crime.
New tonight, 9 suspected gang members are now behind bars. Tampa police detectives arresting these men early this morning after a 3-year-long investigation.
It's ruthless, violent, and widespread. That's how federal authorities are describing suspected gang members from Hillsborough County who are all now facing charges.
The Tampa Bay area has seen a significant crackdown on various gang activities as multiple criminal organizations have been dismantled by law enforcement in recent years. These groups, ranging from local gangs like the Alexander Park Gang and 200 Scuta Gang to larger entities such as the Latin Kings and a Florida-based white supremacist group known as the Unforgiven, have been involved in a variety of illegal activities, including racketeering, drug trafficking, and acts of violence. Through extensive investigations and coordinated efforts among local, state, and federal agencies, authorities have made numerous arrests and filed multiple indictments, aiming to disrupt the operations of these gangs and ensure the safety of the community.
Dashboard camera video shows a police chase through a community near Detroit last October. It ended with a suspect from Tampa in jail, accused of carjacking, kidnapping, tying up, and torturing a man. Investigators would eventually charge another Tampa man in connection with the case, Xavier Gardner.
Put your head behind your back!
At the time, this may have seemed like an isolated incident, but federal investigators say it wasn't at all. U.S. Attorney Roger Handberg confirmed that Michigan case was connected to a wide-ranging investigation into the Alexander Park, or AP gang, in Tampa. We're told it's named after the community where some of its members grew up. Handberg says one of those shootings led to a break in the case in April 2022. He says a rival gang, member of the AP gang, in the parking lot of Scores Gentlemen's Club on Dale Mabry Highway. 6 days later, we're told a deadly retaliatory shooting happened at a strip mall in the town and country area of Tampa. Detectives recovered about 70 bullet casings. We're told that helped connect the dots to several other crimes. Handberg says investigators have now linked the AP gang to robberies in 4 other states, mostly for drugs.
The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Middle District of Florida announced that 6 members of the Alexander Park Gang have been indicted on multiple charges, including racketeering and deletion. The Alexander Park Gang, named after a park on North Lois Avenue, was involved in a variety of criminal activities such as burglaries, robberies, shootings, and drug trafficking. The gang is also accused of committing aggravated assault, home invasion, robbery, and burglary in several states, including Oregon, California, and Michigan. The gang members have been connected to an April 17, 2022 incident at Scores Gentlemen's Club on North Dale Mabry Highway, which resulted in a deletion. Investigators stated that the incident was a result of ongoing tensions between the Alexander Park Gang and the Latin Kings. According to Handberg, a member of the Alexander Park Gang was deleted by a Latin Kings member during that incident. In response, investigators claim that 6 days later, Alexander Park Gang members retaliated by deleting a Latin Kings member in broad daylight. The National Integrated Ballistic Information Network, NIBIN, was used to connect the Alexander Park Gang members to multiple criminal activities in Tampa and other states. Special Agent Kirk Howard noted that the Alexander Park Gang is no longer active, describing it as a sophisticated, well-financed, and ruthless organization that, until recently, was responsible for numerous violent crimes and disrupted communities across the country for profit. If convicted on all charges, the individuals face a maximum penalty of life imprisonment.
4 suspected members of the white supremacist gang Unforgiven, who are from Northeast Florida, sat at a table in front of federal judge Monty Richardson, who ordered they all remain in custody without bond. Prosecutors say the motive to commit such crimes were either to gain entry, maintain status, or increase their position within the gang. They also say the victims were members of rival white supremacist groups like the Proud Boys, Aryan Brotherhood, and Race Baiters. News4JAX crime and safety expert Ken Jefferson says attacking another white supremacist group is what really sticks out in this case.
16 members of a Florida-based white supremacist group known by aliases such as Shrek, Pretty Boy, and Scumbag have been indicted on 12 counts of racketeering charges, including deletion, kidnapping, and other serious crimes. The group, called the Unforgiven, allegedly utilized corrupt law enforcement officers and state employees to gather information about investigations and to smuggle contraband to incarcerated members, according to the indictment. The indictment states that new members were required to study Aryan philosophy and commit acts of extreme violence as part of their initiation. Members were also expected to get tattoos featuring symbols such as swastikas, iron crosses, and assist bolts, pay membership dues, and attend regular meetings referred to as church, The group established a political branch known as Route 21, which federal prosecutors described as an effort to mask the white supremacist ideology behind their political activities. David Howell, 39, one of the individuals named in the indictment, has been charged with assaulting protesters with a dangerous weapon during a Peace Walk for Black Lives demonstration last June. If convicted, several members, including George Shrek Andrews, Brandon Scumbag Welch, and Joshua Chain Gang Wilson, could face up to 30 years in prison.
New tonight, 9 suspected gang members are now behind bars. Tampa police detectives arresting these men early this morning after a 3-year-long investigation.
According to Police Chief Brian Dugan, they're members of the 200 Scuta gang and responsible for numerous crimes across the country, including witness tampering, identity theft, credit card fraud, and much more. Stupid boy, you ain't gonna take that.
The gang members include rappers who wrote songs that describe shootings, snitches, and the absence of fear of law enforcement.
Detectives were able to use their music videos, which they posted on YouTube, to connect them to several crimes. This investigation started after the 2016 17-year-old at the Red Roof Inn on Bush Boulevard. Joshua Green, in this surveillance picture, wearing a Scuta gang T-shirt, is the suspected.
Overall, the members of this gang have been hell-bent on committing serious crimes.
The chief says this investigation is far from over and may be more arrests to come.
The term Scuta is a slang expression meaning "let's get it," and according to Tampa police, it refers to making money by any means necessary. This is precisely what the 200 Scuta gang was allegedly doing, as authorities claim its members engaged in a range of activities, including racketeering, identity theft, credit card fraud, illegal firearm purchases, witness intimidation, and drug distribution, stretching from Hillsborough County to Georgia. Following a 2-year investigation, Tampa Police Chief Brian Duggan announced on Tuesday that 9 individuals had been arrested, with additional arrests expected. According to police, the gang's fraudulent activities affected up to 100 victims, and members appeared to operate without fear of apprehension, even using a rap label in Georgia to boast about their actions and their disregard for the law. Chief Duggan stated that this apparent sense of invulnerability among gang members would soon come to an end as more arrests were made. The gang has been linked to a 2016 incident involving the deletion of a 17-year-old during a shootout at a motel on Bush Boulevard, as well as a gang-related feud in April 2017 that resulted in the shooting of 2 rival gang members in Sulphur Springs. Another shooting in May 2017 led investigators to uncover the extent of the gang's activities. The investigation initially focused on what seemed to be a routine drug deal, but soon revealed a more extensive network of fraud and other criminal operations. According to police spokesman Steve Hegarty, the gang members used personal information and credit card numbers obtained online to carry out various financial scams. Additionally, police discovered connections to previous incidents where witnesses had been intimidated, leading to shortened prison sentences for some individuals involved. Officer Steve Monforti of the Tampa Police Department's Violent Crime Bureau explained that in several cases, witnesses had been pressured not to testify, resulting in reduced consequences for those implicated. One shooting victim had to relocate to another state due to intimidation. Among the cases newly linked to the gang is that of Kelly Stacy Jr., a 17-year-old who was deleted during an October 30, 2016 incident. According to court records, Stacy and a friend attempted to purchase $300 worth of smoke using counterfeit $100 bills. The situation escalated, and Stacy was inadvertently deleted by his friend. Investigators later identified members of the 200 Scuta gang as being involved in the drug deal at the hotel, leading to third-degree deletion charges against Joshua Damian Green, 32, for his role in the events that culminated in Stacy's deletion. The quality of the gang's rap videos, according to Officer Chris Scull, indicated the success of their financial schemes, with an increase in production value reflecting their growing revenue over the years. Special Agent in Charge Mark Brutnell of the Florida Department of Law Enforcement's Tampa office noted that the gang had been determined to carry out serious criminal activities, but the recent arrests represented significant progress in addressing these issues.
Well, they're calling this Operation Checkmate, as in game over, and the sheriff says it is game over for a number of alleged high-level drug traffickers operating in southern Hillsborough County.
6-figure cars, 6-figure chains, 6-figure cash. Investigators say this was all part of a day in the life of 2 high-ranking Latin King gang members recently busted.
Expensive cars, jewelry, and firearms were a part of everyday life for 2 high-ranking members of the Latin Kings who were recently arrested during a 3-month narcotics operation in Hillsborough County. According to Sheriff Chad Chronister, detectives and D agents seized over $800,000 worth of drugs, along with 15 firearms, cash, and stolen property after executing search warrants at 5 locations in Wamama last Thursday. The sheriff identified the 2 men leading the local operation as Omar Bravo, the state's top drug supplier, and Fidencio Robles, one of the top 5 Latin Kings members in Florida. The stash houses were reportedly used by at least 19 other dealers to distribute significant quantities of drugs, generating hundreds of thousands of dollars in monthly revenue. During a press conference on Monday, Sheriff Chronister was joined by State Attorney General Ashley Moody, who cited border security issues as a contributing factor to the gang's ability to operate in Florida. "We know the lack of security at the southern border has only fueled the growth of these gangs that have infiltrated our state," said Attorney General Ashley Moody. Investigators also discovered the Latin Kings' operational manual, detailing the gang's leadership structure and locations, which Sheriff Chronister said is one of only a few known copies in existence. The sheriff added that the seized firearms are being tested to determine if they are linked to other crimes in Hillsborough County. The successful operations against these gangs demonstrate the effectiveness of coordinated law enforcement efforts in addressing organized crime. With key members facing serious charges, the dismantling of these groups represents a significant step toward reducing gang-related violence and criminal activity in the Tampa Bay area and beyond. While these actions have made the community safer, authorities remain vigilant, emphasizing that ongoing investigations and continued collaboration are essential to maintaining public safety and preventing the resurgence of such criminal organizations.